Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up here on today's show, we're going to be breaking down round one grades for the silver and black. Tom Telesco, Antonio Pierce, you can be mad, you can be happy. If there's one thing that I'm going to take away from this draft, it's they were honest. They were aggressive. They tried to trade up to 2. They tried to trade up to 3. They tried to trade up to even pick number 8 with the Atlanta Falcons after Jaden Daniels was gone for Michael Penix Jr. But guess what this organization did? They took exactly what they told you they were going to do. They decided to go best player available with Brock Bowers. And yeah, it was not the biggest need that we had. I hear you loud and clear. But if you legitimately are going to go with best player available, that's exactly what this organization did. So coming up here on today's show, I'm going to give you what I thought of the entire pick here of the Raiders selecting Brock Bowers at number 13 overall. If you don't know, Chugs and I, we're going to be live tomorrow here on the Raiders Report. We're going to be getting this thing rocking and rolling. We're going to be making Raiders videos every single day this entire year. But when we go live tomorrow, we are going to be partying our freaking, you already know what off. I had a lot of fun tonight. We had all different types of records being broken. The fact that we had over 10,000 people at one time watching this stream tonight, it reminded me of an Oakland tailgate. If you want to pull up to an Oakland tailgate tomorrow, hit that subscribe button and tune in with us. So when the Raiders selected Brock Bowers at number 13 overall, I'll be honest, it caught me off guard a little bit because we were expecting a Talisi Fuaga, a Terrion Arnold, a Quinion Mitchell. But what this team decided to do was go with a little bit of a different route, and Bowers was a player that I talked about as being a surprise pick candidate at number 13. The reason why that I spoke about that, Luke Getsy, big fan of the two tight end system. I mean, he's been his entire career. Do I think that Brock Bowers is going to take over for Michael Mayer? I do not. Mayer's going to be your tight end number 1. Brock Bowers is going to be your tight end 2. Harrison Bryant's probably going to be that tight end 3, and that's all you're going to have to keep at this spot. I will admit, if you were to ask 5 years down the road, who's going to be the better tight end, Mayer or Bowers? I will bet on Bowers. Bowers is one of the highest graded players I've ever had at their position. So if you hear anybody being like, I don't like the pick, you might not like the pick based on need. But if you were the fan that subscribed to the idea of, let's take the best player available, you got exactly what you were wishing for. Last season with the Georgia Bulldogs, he had 56 grabs, 714 yards, 6 touchdowns. It's kind of tough to be able to debate like what he's going to exactly be able to bring to the field if you look at his college numbers. If you want a player that's going to be able to block, Brock Bowers can block. If you want a playmaker in open space, playmaker in open space. But I think the other part of this that people are just forgetting is you have Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. The Raiders missed on getting their franchise quarterback. I get that. But also the draft went a totally different way. I'm going to give you my grade on this pick because it's really based on what the Raiders have at QB. So you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. I want you to scroll on down right now and give me your grade for Brock Bowers going off the board here at pick 13. A, B, C, D, or F. A, you hate it. I'm just kidding. A, you love it. B, it's good. C, it's average. D, it's bad. F, it's an absolute failure. You ready? You're going to hit with that YouTube ad break. Scroll on down. Let me know right now. After that break, I'm going to give you my answer. My answer to this one is I'm going to give it a B- grade. When I was filming the cut live, I said, you know what? It's probably a C+ because it wasn't a need. The reason why I'm giving it a B- grade is simply because you have Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell. We always say on this show, and I say a lot of times, that the best friend of a quarterback is a safety blanket. You now have a safety blanket, and the ultimate safety blanket is Devontae Adams, right? But now you also have it in Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer at the tight end position. If you're not 100% confident in the Raiders' offensive line also on top of that, you could say, okay, we're going to go up with Michael Mayer, we're going to go with Brock Bowers, 2 tight ends that can block and catch the football. That helps your offensive line. If you want to be a power run first team, Zamir White, Alexander Madison, that 2 tight end set is going to be able to help you out a little bit. But from top to bottom, the Raiders to me are a team that said, you know what, we can win with the roster that we have right now. We're going to go with the dude that we believe helps us to win right now the most. And on the board, I don't agree with it. I would have went with Quinion Mitchell. I would have went with somebody like Terrion Arnold. But also, if the Raiders got some information based on the idea of them, I don't know, being able to select a corner a little bit later on, I think it's something to at least keep in mind. I got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Mando. I've been sweating all night, right? When I saw Michael Penix Jr. go off the board at 8, I was sweating. I was like, shit, are we about to take Bo Nix? Then Bo Nix went off the board at 12, and I felt relieved. Kind of like when I put Mando underneath my arms. And for those of you that do not know, I think Mando is really stepping up the game. They got body odor control anywhere. And you can get $5 off with your starter pack. That's over 40% off with promo code CHAT at shopmando.com. I love Mando because it's a whole body deodorant. Mando is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body, whether you want to use it in your pits, your package. I mean, I'm talking balls, grundle, belly button, butt crack, stinky crevices, stomach folds, feet. I use it on my feet all the time. And I think we've built a good enough relationship here on the Raiders Report where I can tell y'all I got smelly-ass feet. Like, from my baseball days, from my days of jogging, running. If there's one thing my fiance hates is when I take off my shoes or socks. She is up my you-know-what about it. But luckily, Mando has really helped me kind of control that stink. And Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, which I used multiple times on tonight's live show, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Luckily, I got that discount code for y'all. Help y'all get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off with our starter pack using code CHAT at shopmando.com. If you don't know how to spell that, it's shopmando.com. Shout out to Mando for hooking up the Raiders Report, and shout out to all of y'all for tuning in to tonight's live show. We had a hell of a night. But also shout out to all the significant others out there where if your guy was sweating from the Raiders pick tonight, he wasn't alone. I was right there with him. Believe me when I tell you that. But if you're like, yo, bro, you stink, hook him up. Father's Day right around the corner. Mother's Day right around the corner as well. All right, so again, our scouting report here on the Raiders' only pick in round 1, pick 13 on Brock Bowers is he is an explosive. And I mean this, he's an explosive tight end. Really going to be able to open up your offense. Crafty receiving threat from the inline as well as the slot and backfield. And I'm trying to create a picture for y'all where it's like, okay, he can be a safety blanket. And that's what Brock Bowers is going to be. Dangerous with the ball in his hands. I always think that the NFL is a copycat league. And you got a team like the San Francisco 49ers, right? Elite defense. Know that they're going to try to build a very, very solid team from top to bottom. But let's just say you don't have the best talent at the quarterback position. So now you got a guy that honestly reminds me of a better version of a George Kittle, where it's like Brock Bowers is probably the highest graded tight end I've had in the last 5 to 10 years on this show. I mean, he's a phenomenal, phenomenal product. And the fact that you're going to be able to add him with Michael Mayer with this room that we already have, some good things are going to be coming there. And then on top of that, if you're confident like in AP and Telesco for their ability to be able to build a defense, because I look at that defense last year, right, and I go, we were the top 2 defense in the NFL when Antonio Pierce took over the last 9 games. We can all agree on that, right? Now you got Christian Wilkins. If you're already confident in your defensive ability, do you not just try to add more to the offensive side of the football? I mean, they still have a need at quarterback. Maybe they target a Spencer Rattler. It's the only guy I'd want them to target from here on out. Corner, still need. Offensive tackle, still need. Wide receiver, still a big-time need here. So, like, the way that I want to end tonight's show is this. I want to end with this. Do you like this pick by the Raiders? Give me a yes. Give me a no. We're breaking down Raiders round 1 draft grades. There was a lot of speculation. Could they trade up for Jaden? Could they trade up for another quarterback? Could they potentially trade back up in a round 1 and get a back-end QB? I think because 6 QBs went in the top 12 picks, which that can't be stated enough. It is a NFL record. 6 QBs, top 12 picks. If you're an NFL team and you needed a quarterback tonight, guess what? The chips did not fall in your favor. And sometimes that shit happens in Vegas. Give me a yes. Give me a no. Do you like this pick by the Las Vegas Raiders? My answer to this is I do like the pick. Was it the biggest need that we had? No. Of course not. Would I have liked the Terry Arnold, Quinion Mitchell? I would have. But I got to give Telesco credit here for saying, you know what, I'm going to go with the best player on the board. It's according to my board, Tom Downey's board, Dane Brugler's board. If you look at a draft board, the best player available on that board was, in fact, Brock Bowers out of Georgia. I'll be curious to see what this offense looks like. You're going to go with 2 tight end sets a lot. I think you're going to rely on that defense to be a very, very competent defense, which you definitely need. But at the end of the day, this was not quite what we thought, but it's still a good draft grade by Telesco and by Antonio Pierce in my book. If you enjoyed today's show, hey, man, make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to be live on the Raiders Report 90 minutes before the NFL draft gets kicked off. Shout out to Chugs. Shout out to Ira Jackson. Shout out to Common Raider. Shout out to tonight's MVP, Justin Avgin. I'm heading out.